in the mad world and the bubble I was in, was writing down my thoughts, and it turned into poetry from school. My form of expression was writing. I don't know how, but we ended up calling myself Switch.
So what you realise as you go through life is the peaks don't last forever, neither do the troughs. And when the highs are highs, take the wins. When the lows are lows, take the losses and move back into the fucking middle space.
Hard man, I go hard with the bars this year, man, I'm taking the perks. They go left, we go right. Speller in the words.
Check.
Brother's done all of that.
1, 2, 1, 2.
This guy.
You're in an aggy mood today, isn't it?
No,
I'm gonna push you
you're
even more.
You're in an ADHD episode. Right, okay. Yes, what's going on, people? We're back. It's your boy Tizz, Sonny Black, Spanner in the Works podcast. We're going to call this episode 1.2. We're going to argue about whether we call this episode 1.2, but either way, we're here. Now, listen.
No, we have argued about it already.
We'll get to that. I ain't even introduced you. I ain't even introduced him yet, and he's already going. All right, so listen, we're super close to announcing who our official guest is for episode 2. So we decided we're going to drop a little filler on you lot today, hopefully create a few moments. It's me, Sonny Black. Oh, no, it's not. Fucked up completely, did I?
Carry on.
I'm going to start again, yeah? Yeah. They can edit it out, it doesn't matter.
No, don't. This is what other people have done. But this is welcome to podcast world. You telling me no one in the podcast world has introduced themselves as their co-host. I guarantee you they have.
Shush. Good job we got to fucking 4 o'clock, mate. Jesus. Because till 3 o'clock to get. Can't believe I did that. It's me, Sonny Black. Yo, do you know why? Can I just be real why I did that? Because I wrote that script for him to do the intro.
Oh,
so I wrote it down as...
I did the work. I put the work in.
No, I did it wrong. All right, cool. Start again. All right, welcome. Episode 1.2. We're definitely going to argue over what the name of it is, but it's your boy Tizz and Sonny Black, Spanner in the Works podcast. We're back. We're super close to announcing our second guest. I can't wait. Trust me, my man is global. That's all I can say. We can't say no more than that. So in the meantime, we thought we'd get together and drop a little filler, little sit down with my co-host. So without further ado, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, sir. Enjoying the weather. Lovely weather out there. Barbecue season, hay fever season, may I add. My eyes feel like I've been punched up. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, bro. I laid a patio yesterday, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, mad one. But listen, before we get into it, let me just do the formalities, yeah? So, listen, as usual, it's a pleasure to be bringing this podcast to you with the help and association of our partners. So big shout to Limelight TV, big shout to MAK Studios, man like Jason, and big up Jason as well, man. Jason put some hard work into that first episode of us going back with change this, change that. So big up to them. Sponsor of the episode is yours truly, the Sound Temple, and a couple shouts, Onyx Events, and a shout to, although I ain't been to see you for a few weeks, bro, I did say I'd come, sorry, shout out to my barber, Mo the Cuts. You can check them all out in the description. And the final thing to say, listen, we hit 1,000 subscribers off the back of episode 1. Yeah,
Thank you to everyone that's subscribed.
But the only way that can continue to happen is to smash that like button, subscribe, comment, please. I don't care if it's negative comments. In fact, I welcome negative comments because it gets that algorithm going. Send it to all your people, mention it to everybody. Spanner in the Works podcast. But big up and thank you to everybody that kind of helped us get on the road for the first leg of our journey. So what are you saying then?
I'm good, man. I'm tired. I'm knackered. It's been looking after the kids weekend, going back to the kids to feed them barbecue food. I got a stick of barbecue on in this hot weather, suffering with hay fever. But yeah, I'm not moaning. We're good. We're here. Episode 2, 1.2, was it?
1.2.
1.2 in Tizz's eyes. But episode 2, series 1, myself and Tizz, we thought we can't just leave it until our next guest is ready to appear on the show. We have to give you guys something, innit, Tizz?
So let's just speaking of guests, let's just backtrack a little bit then. So what was it, about a month and a half ago? We was in this exact space, in this exact spot. We had our guest. How have you felt? It's kind of gone since then.
Yeah, it's been good, man. I've had great feedback. To be honest with you, the interview itself has had mixed responses. You
think so?
Yes.
Yeah, I do as well.
I know so.
Yeah,
from
very much so.
Reading the comments.
Yeah,
Thank you, people. Keep commenting. My phone calls. This, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, well.
See, because I haven't experienced that because I'm insulated from it, innit?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know people. There ain't really many people that are going to ring me up and talk to it on a level that they talk to you. So your experience of it is probably a much better kind of truer reflection. I tell you what, I've had good feedback about you. Yeah, good feedback. A lot of people are like, oh, who's that guy? Who's your co-host?
You know what I mean? People that don't know me.
Yeah, people that don't.
I'm really shocked because everyone really
No, but not with necessarily within my. You got to understand. I don't move in the same. I don't.
Yeah,
move, I'm
true
not. I might be from
True
Bedford,
that,
bro, but
true
I'm not a
that.
Bedford guy like that. I'm not out there. I'm not.
Yeah,
on,
we'll come to that.
Yeah,
as well.
we'll come to that. We'll come to that. I'm not on the roadside. You know what I mean? Even in a physical or even a metaphorical sense. So like the circles I move in and the people that have kind of given me their feedback from my point of view are my people. You know, hundreds. I'm talking a lot, and they're like, "Oh, who's that guy? Very professionally shot. Who's your co-host? Yeah, my man's jokes." So yeah, man, it was. And Pauline said, "Take your hat off, though."
Yeah, Pauline, I'm keeping my hat on. Hides my eyes.
So what we're going to do for the first part of this is we're kind of going to get into it a bit about you from me kind of asking you. So just for those that don't know, and by now most of you should know.
No, God knows what this is going to be.
Yeah,
Tizz and his...
Sonny Black is a good friend of mine. We go back to, I got a good memory, so I'm going to call this now, 86 roughly, 86, 87. His cousin used to live next door to me, and I used to be a rowdy ute, and I mean, one of my first memories of Sonny was trying to bully him with my dog Max.
That dog Max was known.
It was known in the ends, isn't it? And Sonny's uncle got hold of man and clapped man out, because back in them days the neighbours could clap up the utes, innit? And I remember getting clapped up by Sonny's uncle. That's my first memory, and we're going back now. What? So we're now 2024. So that even if it was 88. We're talking like 26 years ago, man. So that's a long, long time. And through that, we've kind of, been involved
still in that early 30s.
Yeah, early 30s. Man, I'm proud of my age. Don't be labelling me as a 30-something, bro. But I didn't live my 30s to then get to my 40s where I am today.
You
to
look
be told,
like you're in your 30s.
I don't feel like it, man. I don't feel like it. But listen, keep it on track. But I want the viewers and the followers to kind of know a bit more about you, what drives you, what makes you tick. And for me, the best part of you, which is your unique story. So look, let's give you a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Sonny Black, man, come on.
Thank you. It's far too kind.
Yeah, man. So let's do what we always do with everyone. Let's start at the beginning. So where's it all begin for you? Right from the start.
Where's it all begin? Bedford, born, bred in that hospital that got burnt down many years ago.
North Wing.
Yeah, North Wing, Kimbolton Road.
I was born in North Wing. I bet he wasn't. He definitely weren't born in North Wing. No way.
Yeah, Bedford, born and bred, bruv. I bleed Bedford, unlike some.
He hated that. There's the first shot. So let's start with the name Sonny Black, because I love this story. I think this is hilarious. Now, I don't know how many of our watchers, followers and that are necessarily film fans, but I'm sure most people have heard of Al Pacino and most people have heard of Johnny Depp. And there's a film back in the day called Donnie Brasco, and one of the characters is called Sonny Black. And I always thought that your name, Sonny Black, came from, like a lot of people from that era, you take the name of somebody that you saw, like, you just have to go through the list of rappers.
My name was Sonny, add Black on the end.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's not actually why you're called Sonny Black, is it? Go on.
And thank God, because that character was not a good character.
No, he wasn't. Sonny Red was all right, wasn't he?
Yeah, Sonny Red was good. But yeah, thank God it wasn't named after that character, man. Sonny Black actually came from, when I first decided I wanted to start rapping or make music, never thought of it as a career, never thought of it as anything, as like just my form of expression was writing. After, because man's been through what they've been through, we'll probably come to that later on the stage, but my way of me helping me keep sane in the mad world and the bubble I was in was writing down my thoughts, and it turned into poetry from school, then from poetry into rap format. And then from there, when I first started rapping, me and Kane, Passion Hi-Fi, big up yourself, answer your phone. We was thinking, right, what are you going to call yourself, brother? And I was like, I ain't got a clue. And back then, I used to have a very short fuse and switch very easily and short fuse. So I don't know how, but we ended up calling myself Switch.
I remember you Switch, yeah.
And then from Switch, I got a very nice message from a certain DJ who was a known DJ called DJ Switch. And
big shout out to Switch, Bedford man.
Good, probably a year or two, maybe a couple of years later after I'd been using the name. Obviously now people have started associating him with the name when they've seen it on flyers, posters and stuff. And he wasn't very happy. And he sent me a message. Cleve, I'm on about.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
DJ Switch, DJ. And he's like, oh, bruv, like people getting confused with the name, like, do you mind changing your name? And back then I was like, fuck off, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll have my name Switch if I want it. But out of respect, and because he is known as DJ Switch, and he is the original Switch.
I mean, was.
Still is.
I mean, he's hardly active though, is he?
Hardly active, but he's a fucking good pool player, bruv. He's killing it on TV. He's playing pool and
Yeah, okay, but that's not DJing now.
But I'm just saying, he's still relevant. He's still here representing his own town.
For real. But it's not like he can't claim the name because he's
I bet he
DJ.
still could smash up a set, bruv.
Yeah, I bet he could. Yeah, in fairness, I bet he could. Yeah, I bet
he could still smash up a set. But yeah,
I'm just saying he's not exactly active. Is all I'm saying.
Due to respectful switch, I changed my name to Sonny and.
Well, there's something about they called you Sonny Black because...
And the reason I changed my name to Sonny Black was when I was at school...
That's it. That's the bit I was getting to.
I was... You know, like the Asians stuck with the Asians or the black stuck with the black and the white stuck with the white.
That was a real thing back in the day.
That was back in the day. School was like that. And I apparently, because I was into music, rap, done a few things, was doing a few things that associated to the West Caribbean, what people do and... whatever else, music, the way of life, and everything else. They said, he thinks he's black. He wants to be black. And obviously, I used to have hairstyles like the patterns and whatever else. He thinks he's black. He wants to be black.
You did used to have patterns as well. I remember. To keep it real, you was not the only like Indian boy that had patterns in his hair. By the way, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And on the real, actually, I would say a lot of Indian boys in Bedford from our era that grew up, it was difficult not to be influenced by black culture. It was impossible not to be because most of the areas you grew up in, someone around, because it's quite mixed. Bedford's very mixed,
Bedford's,
isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So it was quite common that when you was younger, you didn't really hang in crews of the same like necessarily race or background as you. It just happened to be man sort of from that area. You'd always have the white boy. You'd always have the Indian boy in there. Do you know what I mean? Like
exactly that.
Even if it was like predominantly made up of mixed race and black boys, there was always people that kind of like just through the definition of where they kind of grew up in them areas. But so yeah, you weren't.
It's because I was Kempston based. So in Kempston, so for example, London Road area used to have the mixture of the blacks and the Asians and the whites. In Putney, when I went Tommy Moore, that was again like Kempston. The Asians stuck together, the blacks stuck together, and whatever else. And then so basically the Asian community, some of them, you say, he thinks he's black, he thinks he's a rapper, and this, that, and the other, and they started calling me Sonny Black as a hatred thing. And you're Sonny Black, you're Sonny Black, like one of them ones. And I used to hate it when I was young, but then as I got older and I was asked to change my name, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna call myself Sonny Black. And here we are. And here we are, bruv.
Here we are, bruv.
Here we are later on.
Now you're a podcaster. So you already started.
That was long-winded, isn't it?
No, not at all. No, not at all. It's quite interesting because what you've done, you've already started taking us on that kind of, how you're getting into the music. You mentioned like the rapping and that. So from my point of view, I remember. We'll very quickly touch on college. I remember we went to college together, which would have been about 96. But the reason I touch on that point in era,
dropping dates.
Yeah, but the reason I touch
2006.
That was 96. But the reason I touch on that era and time is because, to my mind, I remember them was when very small little shoots of like people doing things started to pop off. You'd have certain people that rapped and certain people that did things, and we did performing arts and media.
Yes.
And that was kind of where it starts. And then just kind of moving past that point, my next kind of, I think I really start to remember you, what I would call making noise in terms of like Sonny does things, was probably about the early 2000s when you mentioned Passion Hi-Fi Kane. So you rolled with Kane for a while, and you started to sort of get yourself into that space. Man. So when did
big up Kane?
Yeah, how did that? So at that time there, you were kind of known as a rapper from Bedford, of which there really wasn't many of us. What was that sort of experience like back then, and then how do you kind of reflect on that experience now with everything you kind of know, so kind of 20 years later?
Yeah, whether you thought I was shit or good, I was still part of the music scene, and we built something crazy because Bedford's always had a music scene from big up Keon and Miniman spoke about it on their podcast as well. I want to shout them out. Yeah, sick podcast. From back in the day, Bedford's had its little scene, music scene, but not really represented on a hip hop.
No, never. It's not even that. We spoke about this on the lives we've done. It's never really been represented on a big stage. Can I just, before I let you carry on the story, I want to just quickly share something with you, which is really interesting. I saw this map, right? So it's a map of Great Britain broken down into counties. And in each county, it had the biggest selling recording artist of that county, right? So for example, just to give you some kind of like context of that, so the biggest recording artist to come out of like Newcastle, Tyne and Wear area was Sting, yeah? The biggest artist to come out of Hampshire, Southampton, Craig David. So you looked at this map and it literally told you where Adele was like the biggest to come out of Hertfordshire, and like it was mad. It was really mad to like see it in like Suffolk, Ed Sheeran, because he's from Ipswich, right? Do you know who Bedford's biggest selling artist to ever come out of our county, Bedfordshire? It's insane when I tell you.
What, who it is?
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh,
And now listen, one thing to say, I don't know whether this is updated with the likes of Tom Grennan and Alfie Templeman, but we're going to say no because this artist goes way back and it's not a genre you'll even know about.
God, then who is it?
A guy called Jethro.
Okay.
He was this like kind of, it's hard to describe him. I guess just go and Google who Jethro was, yeah, or is and was. But he made music and got on top of the pops and sold records. It was weird kind of music. But that's our musical. My point being in that whole monologue is that's Bedford's musical fucking legacy. Do you know what I mean? Some novelty farmer act that fucking got on top of the pops. And I think...
See, and one that we've never heard of.
Yeah, and I think there's always been people from, especially now with the way the world's changed, we live in a social media world, so getting a Bedford artist out there is a thing. But even those Bedford artists, like Tom Grennan doesn't really represent Bedford, let's be real about it. He happens to come from here, but he obviously transcends, you know, he's not just Bedford. So bringing that back to what you were saying, yeah, we've always kind of had a little scene here.
Yeah, we've always had a
do you always
music
think
scene.
it's been a bit of a...
Jungle, drum and bass, but not really... like a scene of hip hop, like British rap hip hop.
Non-existent, really, innit?
When Kane and I sort of teamed up, and then I introduced John Peckles to him.
Yeah.
I introduced Dots to him.
Yeah.
Then he started working with other people because Dots knew he was with a group called Blueprint, was it?
That's right, it was a Blueprint. Yeah.
And then through there he met Rec, and then Rec bought Don Zeus.
That's right.
And then Trauma came onto the scene.
That's right,
and then there was like loads of other things. But one thing, there was very, very slowly, there was London Road.
Yeah, you've jumped. Yeah, sorry, you've jumped a little bit forward in the timeline for me
because London Road Collective. I'm coming back now.
Yeah,
I'm bringing it. So there was London Road Collective and the Putno guys who touched on. It was more of like a beef rap battles and
it wasn't
scraps and
it wasn't. Nah, the timeline's kind of twisted there. Now we did. Yeah, London Road Collective did their thing back in the day. Big shout out to man like David. Big shout out Leon, Dan, and all them man. Yeah, Technique as well. We did our thing, but Putno didn't really do anything. The guys of our age group weren't really doing anything. It was the next lot that come along, Miniman, who were a little bit younger. They were doing music, but by which time we'd kind of shifted off. For me, to my memory, and I might have this wrong, but you were one of the only ones who kind of stayed right away from the very beginning, because we worked together back in the day. I swear you come to Nick's studio with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked way back then. So you're the only guy that I can remember who's kind of been consistent all the way through. So the way I look at it is that sort of early 2000s up to radio, so that's a 10-year period. You're probably the only guy who was fully active through that entire period. Miniman and them lot came in earlier, a little bit later, yeah? Obviously, you had Macabre Unit doing their thing and that. But I think for me, you've probably been the most consistent. I never took it
serious, I'll be honest with you, because...
But you had albums out and stuff, bro. But you were getting reviewed by hip-hop sites.
I always considered, like, there's a lot of better rappers and artists out there than me locally. But I always done, like, the conscious... Like I said, for me, I used it as a format of my diary or getting my thoughts down. So it was more of me just talking conscious shit and about my family and what I'm going through. And people, you say, people don't want to hear that shit, Sonny, man. But
I disagree.
All you ever talk about is
I
like
disagree.
your shit and you're like, what you're going through and that. But that's all I knew, because do you know what I was brought up on?
Yeah.
American hip hop. And like, I wasn't never into grime because it was like repeating their bars and that. Only when Kano and your Gets and when them people, I started hearing them actually telling stories on grime, then I started getting into it. But before that, remember, we grew up in the 90s. Raised in the born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. I think
you raised a good point there.
So we grew up on American hip hop. There's no such thing as UK hip hop. A little bit later on, there
was, but it never touched us because it was very London centric. All those guys like Skinny Man, they only give a fuck about London. They didn't care about it.
Big Luton movement as well.
So
Fire Life Cypher, and all of these people.
Which is interesting. Just going back to what we said about Bedfordshire, you would have expected them to be quite high up on that list of artists to have popped off from Bedfordshire because they performed at the Brits. You know that?
Yeah, they did.
With Gorillas. Yeah. But you know, they got what happened was they recorded that track as like officially they were going to be on it, and when it then got its release, they'd been bumped off it for Del the Funky Homo Sapien, who's actually Ice Cube's cousin, as a weird little quirk. Yeah, but so anyway, sorry, going back. But no, you're right. There was that thing where we made rap, and then the guys that come along just a tad after were making grime. Now you both did bars, but it was kind of almost like even the local scene went its separate kind of ways, because we didn't really do grime either. There might have been the odd time we'd jump on a fucking thing, but we never really did grime either.
No. The major thing that I always never like see or did or what was any shows happening or people actually doing events.
In Bedford?
Yeah. events, like hip hop events. I'm talking about.
Yeah, there wasn't
Rap
many hip hop events, but there were times that people
There
performed.
was Cabana Days and all that grime. That was going
Always going,
jungle
yeah.
drum and bass.
Yeah.
But actually, people that enjoy hip hop rap,
yeah.
like there wasn't none
There's
of that.
been very few, very
there
very
wasn't
few.
none of that
But we
going on in
performed in
Bedford.
Bedford a few times. We've both done River Festival twice.
Yeah, River Festival 100%. I'm on about events.
Yeah, but
Like
outside
people-
that, there wasn't. You had Skinny Man came to Paddon Esquires back in the day. Clash came back in the day, but a lot of that was us putting them on.
That was
as
a
well.
little bit later. I'm on about like the early 90s, late 90s,
You mean more like early 2000s? Mid 2000s.
mid to late 90s.
But was the school then? Oh, back then you mean?
Yeah, because remember we were going Riviera Lights, bro.
It was non-existent.
We was going Plaza, Riviera Lights.
It was non-existent. It was
Matt's Place.
You might have been lucky to get one. You might have been lucky to get one rap record played. It was probably a Biggie track, yeah. When you used to go to them places, isn't it? Yeah.
Remember, we were going clubbing when we were 15,
That's right.
16.
Rap was not a thing, bruv. You're right.
I don't think I went to the first time I went to a nightclub was when I was 15, bro.
Plaza, yeah.
14, no, Riviera Lights, I think it was.
You used to pay till 6, innit?
Mad, bruv. Like, and the drinks were so cheap.
Yeah, they were cheap. And then it became Chicago's. And actually, speaking of which, so it became Chicago's after that. And they used to have a thing on a Monday night. And I used to know this brother. Big shout out to him, man. Like, he's a good guy. You'd know him. Do you know a guy called Dan? I don't like saying people's names on camera and shit, but Daniel Arno.
I've heard of that.
You know my brethren Bevis? He's half brother, yeah?
Yeah.
But he used to DJ back in the day. And he used to DJ at Chicago's on a Monday night. But he would play hip hop. So it's the only place you could go anywhere in Bedford and be guaranteed to hear hip hop. Yeah. So you go out in Bedford and you'd hear like, but it was rare to hear kind of hip hop anywhere. And then in terms of like a local scene, there was a few pockets of people doing it. But you're right, kind of grime did dominate. But as we spoke about a million times, and I don't think we need to get into it in too much detail on this, no one ever really popped out of Bedford, did they, at any point?
He likes to keep it like realistic. So let's go there.
No, we'll get to that.
We can talk about everything else.
We're going to come to the radio first. Let's come to the radio.
Why do you do this to your own, like, we are from this town. Why do you do this to people from Bedford?
What?
Some people are deluded.
Yeah.
Some people are on a path. Some people are on a journey.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, where you sort of just cuss or slate or just like give it that negative.
Dismissive is the word I think you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I was going to basically segue into the radio from you talking about local music and stuff.
Yeah, we've got so much to talk about.
Which I think is a good time.
Actually know
but
us.
I think it's a good time to do it, so I'm happy to answer your question. So just to give you some background. So first of all, to answer the question directly, which I don't normally do, why do I do it? And my initial answer, which I'm going to give you some context to, is that I'm uniquely positioned to be able to. Okay, and I'll tell you why on 2 levels. So first of all, if we fast forward through the journey that me and you've just been talking about, around 2011, we land at In2Beats Radio. Yeah. First of all, it's me and Frenchie, the Frenchman. We're doing a hip hop show. Now, when me and Frenchie started, I think me and Frenchie ended up doing like 6 episodes together. When we started, it was just playing a bit of UK, bit of US, and talking on the air. You then came on and did the rap show with me. I'm good. For the first year, I'd say we kind of stuck to that formula, UK, US, but we started then to kind of move into really showcasing local people. The very guy who people can't see off camera who sat here today, and I'm going to bring him into my thinking and why I think that the people that just want to stay on the path of rapping are completely deluded. Yeah, I'm going to give you an example and use the guy that's sitting here helping us today. But we moved into that point where people were starting to bring us music and we were playing it on air and we were giving people a platform. So I think that uniquely qualifies me to have an opinion, and that's all it is. It's an opinion. It's not a fact. It's not it's not set in stone. It's not the Bible or the Quran or the Torah. It's just my opinion, but it's an informed opinion that comes from a place of I have, not unique, but I have a very fucking decent insight. So I'm going to tell you where that comes from. So there's that side of things. So we saw 15 years ago a formula where people would make music on a local level. They'd bring it to us. We'd put it out on the air. But to my mind, there wasn't, even back then and even today, there's no realism in it. Just because you can make something. I'll give you a really simple word example. I built a patio yesterday. So I can physically lay down a patio. It's a giant leap from laying down that patio to charging people for me to go and lay down patios for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot I've got to do in between that basic framework to get to a level where I'm what's considered a professional. So the reason that I sometimes get a bit like we're waiting for that person to blow, and I am quite flippant about it, and I understand that my language around it can be quite inflammatory as well. It's like I'm always going at people. Okay, it is what it is. I am who I am. Take it how you want to take it. But it ain't coming from a point of hate. It's coming from a point of realism, and it's saying, look, just because you can do a portion of something, if you are putting it out there and up there that you're the complete thing and you're going to go and be an artist, you have to be able to do everything. Yeah? Just because I can lay paving slabs doesn't make me a builder.
No, I get that. I totally get that.
And that's where that comes from. And then, but also, I've got another example of it where you fast forward. We spoke about this many times. You look at the lockdown period. We were all sat at home doing nothing. So I said, right, I'm going to start a radio show. Yeah? I played somewhere in the region of, I couldn't even tell you, but I think it's about 150 artists. And I think something like 70% of them were from Bedford. Right?
Yeah.
Some incredible music come out of it. Right? But again, it's just the music side of things. Now, I'm not saying people don't rap, don't make music, don't do whatever you're doing. But if you're going to do it
properly.
Yeah, or if you're not going to do it properly, be honest about it. I'm just putting these out because it's fun and the tune bangs. All right, cool, yeah, nice. I like that tune. It's wicked. But what you get is, and I'm not going to start calling names out on here, and if you want to read between the lines, you can, yeah? But you get examples of people who not only take an existing style of someone who's big in the mainstream and basically do what I call a fucking Temu copy of it, right? But then we're supposed to buy in and drink the Kool-Aid and led to believe that shit is real. It's not, bruv. It's not real. You're setting a camera up. The people that are shooting these videos are not going to say no to you because they're going to take your pee and they're going to drink the Kool-Aid as well. But I won't buy into that and say, yeah, mate, he's the next to blow. Because I tell you why he isn't. Because there's no precedent for it. And if you want to keep doing the same things, you're going to get the same results. Now, the day that an artist blows from this town is the day that they go, right, I've got a management team behind me and I'm going to fucking invest. And invest, sadly, means financially as well. You understand what I'm saying?
100%. You have to invest in yourself.
And that is
where it comes from.
You have
to invest in yourself.
Yeah, it's not about hating.
Then there's two ways of looking at it, bruv. Like, what we're doing now, or what we are trying to do, is give the insight to the young or the next generation or the up-and-coming artist of where we went wrong, or tell them what they should do, rather than
I kind of feel
going
I kind of feel that's exactly what I'm doing. What I'm saying to you is,
maybe there's a way of doing it.
Do it properly.
But rather than saying, well, do it properly, maybe say, bro, this is how you should be doing it.
My guy, I will pull up for you now 60 episodes of where I've laid that blueprint down. 60 motherfucking episodes. And then if I want to, I'll go back into the archives and dig out another 100 episodes of radio shows where we together have laid that blueprint out.
Yeah, 100%. But the thing is,
bro, we've tried to connect artists from this town with artists on a bigger level, and then you speak to them artists later down the line, they go, nah, matey boy didn't show up, or matey boy didn't ring me. Like, come on. All I'm saying is, if you're going to cosplay, tell us it's cosplaying. But don't lead us down the path of this is actually like a popping artist that's going to pop, because it ain't happening, and there ain't no precedent to show otherwise. And I think we do also get fixated on it. Like, I don't mean it's disrespectful to Bedford, but why do you want to be the biggest rapper in Bedford? It's like saying I'm the tallest midget or I'm the biggest fish in this tiny little pond. You should be thinking beyond that. And anybody who has gone out, because there are examples, Turno's an example, Alfie Templeman's an example, Tom Grennan's an example, Little Silver's an example.
Yeah, but they're all known in this town as well.
Yeah, they are, but be real about it. They got known outside before everybody turned around and went, yeah, them guys are from Bedford. Because if they just stayed in fucking Bedford, most people wouldn't even give them a second thought. I'm not hating on people. The talent in this town is undeniable. I'm going to bring it back to this guy now. I said I would. Yeah, this guy's talent is undeniable. But I think he also is smart enough to go, this is Warren Buffett here, like, you don't stick to one lane. You have multiple areas of which to do it in. 100%. And you put yourself in a space where, actually, if I'm around people doing a certain thing who are doing it on a level that I potentially want to get to, I can only learn from that and grow myself. And that's what I'm saying.
I feel it's our duty to guide these artists in the right direction.
I think that's where we differ.
And
I don't mean that disrespectfully.
And it all depends on how you say it as well. Like you said, well, do it, don't do it, or whatever. It's
but in the real world, bro, people don't dress things up for you and put them in a nice little fluffy box. And if you want to get into a tough industry,
prepare them for that. As well.
And you don't think that harsh realities doesn't prepare people for shit, because
sometimes you have to learn by your own mistakes. 100%.
But if you also hear harsh realities, you know what, you get used to hearing harsh realities, and sometimes it's the oldest saying in the book. That's where the truth hurts. Me and
Tizz, for those who never have listened to our radio show or heard our conversations on our lives or whatever else, this is where sometimes we do clash, because like I believe that some people aren't fortunate enough to get a head start, and for example, like you see them young kids driving around in 2024 now, in 21, 22, 23, sometimes in the 24 place. Oh, look at him driving around his mum and daddy's money, or that's on finance or whatever. Why hate? They're just lucky enough to be in that position.
Absolutely,
and
but I think
if our parents could give us that stepping stone, I'm sure they pretty would have.
You give it to your kid, but you
want to do that for our kids.
You do it for your kids, yeah.
And that's how I feel about like being in the scene or in an industry. And knowing what we know and learning from like people like Punjabi MC, people like I know like that's just one name because obviously people have seen them on the interview. I know people in this industry that have got a caliber or some sort of pedestal that they're on, and they can give out so much knowledge, but they don't give a fuck, bruv. They're not giving out nothing.
I understand.
They're not giving out, and I'm thinking, why? Because either they're still waiting for their own turn to happen or reignite their light or reignite their fire, or they use you as a stepping stone. So man will say, oh yeah, he's a sick rapper or she's a sick singer. Get him to come and I'll do a tune. And you could be whatever name or brand. You're still using that person as a stepping stone for yourself. But rather than saying, let me give them a chance and let them be the limelight.
And I think in what you're saying, in principle, is absolutely spot on. And I do nothing but commend you for it, because I think you're right. The world needs more people that are like that. But I think in this specific case, in terms of musical scene in Bedford blowing up, I think that there's a vital bit that's missing. There just isn't the fan base. There isn't an audience, and I haven't seen anybody build a brand that people, as you know, and when I say a brand, I mean as an artist that builds a brand. You could maybe argue to a lesser degree, Little Raz is doing his thing right now. Yeah,
but don't necessarily. You're not building something just for Bedford. You're building it universally.
But where's it? But where? This is all I'm saying.
What our problem is, Bedford itself, like in London, you've got record executives, you've got labels, you've got this, you've got that. So people have had this for the last 10, 15, 20, 25 years. So they know what direction or somewhere to go. A door to knock, a doorbell to ring.
But it's not to say that people
haven't got that here.
But it's not to say, but that's wrong. No, if that was the case, you wouldn't have a Turno, you wouldn't have a Tom Grennan, you wouldn't have other people we've mentioned.
No, but there could be more. There could be more Turnos, more Tom Grennans.
But you have to go and get it. No one's bringing it to you. This is my point.
100%.
Nobody.
Bro.
I've never seen anybody making music in this town on any genre or level, other than the aforementioned names, who have built something enough that people are going to want to buy into. You can lead horses to water, but you can't make them drink.
Do you know what I realise as well? And this can...
We lead a lot of horses here, but there ain't no water to drink
This,
from.
what I'm going to say, goes from the very top to the very start of your journey. Do you know what is the massive kick in the teeth with everything throughout this whole journey? Life.
Yeah.
The
life gets in a fucking way, mate. Yeah, of course.
The stresses of your girl not wanting you to go to shows or gigs, or you ain't got a babysitter.
Trying to do a 40-hour week and then try and make music and go out and doing shows. No, of course.
Or you got to have your kids on the weekend, so you can't do and just madness.
But even still,
on top of all the rock and roll, sex, drugs, and whatever else comes with it.
So that's a good point. It's a great point. I also think that's where a lot of it does fall down through.
Help yourself, sound engineer.
Either through the circumstances, right? Because they can't, or they're just unwilling to. A lot of people don't go all in. Now you look at anybody that's blown up from Bedford, right? And I'm going to keep saying the names because I will not shut the fuck up about it because they're facts and we've proved it. And there's a video on our YouTube channel where we talk about people who have genuinely blown up from Bedford. But if you look at all of them, the one common denominator is they all go all in. There's no one in there that went, right, well, I'm going to half like work Monday to Friday and then they fucking went in, mate, and said, right, this is all or nothing. And I think a lot of the artists that we see who stay on a local level, you don't really see that. And I think what you also get conflated with that, so for example, and I'm going to pick any name, not a real person, but this is a real person in my mind, but I'm not going to say their name, but you'll get any MC who will, be doing his thing on the side, which is cool, great. You need to be business minded and enterprising to make something like that work. But what they'll do is they'll take what they're doing from that to put it back into the music thing to go, hey, look at what we're doing in the misguided viewpoint that because they're displaying this thing, that it's actually going to translate into a proper career that pops off, which means they can leave that side behind. When what really happens is all that side does is fuel them showing off on camera. There's no tangible result from the music side of it. And that's what I'm talking about. That's because
they haven't learnt that side, or they're yet to be taught, or find out for themselves. This is what I'm saying.
I just think you have.
If you've got information, if you've got information, or you've got an opportunity to be able to get someone on the next step, or even a few steps even higher, Just give him that information.
But we do, but I'm not, bruv, you're saying it like I'm sitting here holding... you're saying like I'm sitting here holding back information on people.
I'm not saying
like
you
I've got the
personally.
secret on how to crack the music industry. I ain't got a fucking clue. I tried to crack the music industry 20 years ago. I fucking sat here doing a podcast with you, bruv. All I'm simply saying is, yeah, bro, if an artist from Bedford was supposed to have popped, right, they would have popped by now. There's nothing me, you, radio, MAK Studios, or any motherfucker here who can have done to have made that shit happen. Yeah, but the reason it hasn't happened, there isn't a market for it. Boom. End of story.
Market for what? Market for what?
The type of music that gets made and comes out of here.
No, but that's bullshit. Because people are making all like you said. Turner's the drum and bass king. He's making chart hitting.
I'm specifically talking rappers.
Stuff.
I'm specifically talking.
We're talking rappers. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now. If it wasn't for life circumstances and people having to.
All right, and we'll wrap. I'll let you finish, and then we'll wrap it up with my final.
People having to pay bills.
Yeah.
And all the rest of the bullshit that comes with it.
Yeah.
We would have had a rapper or an artist blow by now.
And if my granny had been born with balls, I'd call her granddad. And if you believe it's going to happen, we'll end this nicely, yeah?
It is going to happen.
Well, it is going to happen. I'll sit here and wait. I'll sit here and wait.
You lot better prove me right.
And I would like to see nothing more, but I think that we have I think because we're emotionally invested in it, because we love it.
No, you're not at all. So don't lie.
Oh, okay, all right, fucking fine. Okay, we'll have it out then, right? I'll be real with you. Do you know why I really don't give a fuck, to be honest with you? Because it took me, right, to leave this place and go away from here to do my thing, right? And even then, I don't feel that I get the due.
No, we don't. He fucking doesn't. And I'll tell you what now.
But let me finish.
Wait, one second.
No.
This guy puts so many people on a platform, including myself.
Right.
He is very opinionated.
Right.
He is like Marmite. You either love him or fucking hate him. But the guy will stand by you and have your back fully.
So when you talk about backing people, I'll bring this back to what I said. Because you said to me, why am I like that and why do I say it? And I'll fucking tell you why, bruv. Because even when man gave people a platform, bruv, put them on motherfucking stages, when the premier DJ of the town couldn't turn up to host the Love Local at the First Culture Festival, who stepped in? I did. Who put all them people on radio? I did. Who fucking invited them to shows and paid the money? I did. So if you want me to answer how, I want me to say why and give you tangible fucking evidence and reasoning as to why I don't think it will happen, it's because you give people everything and they still can't do it, bro.
Yeah, but
and prove me, or not prove me wrong. I don't give a fuck about my opinion. You do you and I'll do me. But prove yourselves right. Because I would right now will categorically tell you between now 2024 and let's say 2030, 6 years, there will nobody from Bedford doing rap type of music will chart. There you go. I said it. Yeah. And you know what? The person who might even be closest is sat to my left right now. But the only fucking reason to my mind is because my man immerses himself in an environment that doesn't rely on his peers within this fucking town.
When you say chart,
yeah, chart.
That's one thing.
Yeah,
but you don't necessarily have to chart to make money. I didn't say
that. That's not what I said. And now we're getting.
You're saying specifically chart. So your music is in the top.
No, breakout. Be known.
50, top 100.
Okay. Let's. I'll give you 5 metrics. Between now and then, there's 5 things that won't happen. Tizz is 5 things that won't happen in the next 5 years. Charting. Invited to perform at a festival. Headline anything. Collaborate with anybody who's had a top 100 fucking placing on the charts. There's 4 things I don't think will happen. Why don't I think they will happen? Because for the last 20 years, despite there being a landscape better than the landscape today, it's never fucking happened as far as the rap space is concerned, with the odd exception. There you go. I've said what I've said. There isn't really much more I can fucking say on it, because I think now I'm starting to look like an arsehole.
Now than ever, it's easier.
Is it though?
Apparently so.
Yeah, but is it though?
Apparently so.
I don't know.
I
think it's easier to be seen.
It's easier for an artist to be known and blow.
I think it is easier to be seen. I think you can get from point A to point B, but we're going to drift off a little bit here. I think that now is a fucking mad time to try and like get into and starting to make music, because the landscape's so different. Now it's like, if you go back, I did some analysis actually. I come off the back of watching a video, and if you look at like what's popped, as in popped, done big numbers, it's 2-minute TikTok inspired kind of songs. And the way what TikTok's doing, TikTok's changing every fucking industry beyond. It's quite scary actually, and that's for another time.
Yeah.
But it's a really weird landscape for music now. And I think a lot of what I'm saying comes from, you almost feel like we're at the end of times when it comes to music. I think the way people consume media is changing beyond recognition. I think that there is a real blurred line now between, are you a rapper, a podcaster, a dancer, and I think the guys that are going to still continue to find success, and I keep bringing, I'm not just saying it because he sat here, because you know me, I fucking speak frankly, but it is the guys that are willing to fucking diversify where they're going. If I'm from Bedford and I'm making music and all I do is make it in my bedroom and play it to my friends, and it might get not a tape, but a file passed around a few people, that's my limit. But if I'm from here and I'm in a studio every day and I'm bringing people in who aren't from here and I'm watching them make music and I'm helping them make music and I'm laying shit with them, well then of course. But it actually adds and lends weight to what I'm saying, that the only way you really are going to blow and get to that level is if you move beyond this fucking space. And that's
100%. I agree with you.
That's my thing. I don't hate Bedford, but I hate the Bedford mentality.
That's where
it's like a box. It's like a box. It's like you constrain yourself within this borough.
Yes.
And let me tell you, bro, having lived in 10 towns and cities across Europe, and that's true. I've lived in 2 European cities and 8 towns and cities in the UK, right? From the north to the south and everywhere in between. So I have a very broad spectrum of seeing things from different places. I also DJ 150 parties a year right across the fucking spectrum. So I'm speaking not because I'm a know-it-all, from my own experiences. And if you want me to give something back to the town, here's what I give back to you. Drop that Bedford mentality.
100%.
Take Bedford
I agree.
Take Bedford out to the world, because the world ain't coming to Bedford.
I totally agree with you on that. Now,
Rant over. That's what you're supposed to say at this point.
Rant's just started, bruv. Because on that, I want the people to know who you are, and like we started with me, and we'll flip it back to me in a minute.
Right.
But for that, I want people to know who you are, and where you're from, and why your brain and your thought process is like this.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Right. Talk us through.
Can we set the timer then? Because I know what I'm like.
Talk us through. Okay, let's set a timer. Yeah.
Give me 4 minutes to answer that.
Right.
First part.
It's 6 minutes past now.
Yeah.
I'll stop at 11. Let's give you an extra 30 seconds. Let's go.
Who am I? I'm Tizz, obviously. I'm a father first and foremost, family man. I think, but what I am is I'm very passionate about what I do, and I think music is such a universal thing that can bring so many people together. And again, I witnessed that. I witnessed that kind of
that. I use that all the time.
Yeah, man, and I witnessed that week in, week out, bro. Like, I mean, I walk into rooms where people awkward nods towards me. And I guarantee you, within 2 hours, I'm their favourite person on the planet at that point in time. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you get that
until they walk out the room.
Yeah, until I walk out the room. Yeah, absolutely. But for those moments I got them there in front of me, you are able to take people to heights that like very few people are able to do. And I think that for me, but bro, who am I is such a layered, deep fucking question. We could kind of be here all night and all day. I'm a firm believer in that we are who we are, and we should make the best of what we got. And I definitely have, certainly as I've got older, I've become a lot more, I guess, empathetic towards other people and understanding that, we're not all fortunate. Some people are fortunate in some ways, some people are fortunate in others. And like anything in the universe, I'm a big believer of yin and yang. If there's fortunate, then by definition, there will be unfortunate. And I think if you are fortunate, if you've got a good heart, you should be somebody who wants to help the less fortunate. But I also then draw a line and say that the person who can help us the most is ourselves. Mm-hmm. And the day that we start to understand that we can help ourselves, we don't need to lie to ourselves, and we can be honest with ourselves, are the day that we're much better prepared to help everybody else around us without getting kind of too deep. And I guess as I've because this last year has been kind of crazy for me, I think the person I am sat here today is a world away from the person who would have been sat here 12 months ago. I've given up drinking, I'm open to say it. I'm not ashamed of it. I used to do quite a lot of drugs. You know what I mean? Like I would do a lot of drugs, like when I was out partying, and we all have our drug of choice. Thankfully, mine wasn't fucking crack or heroin, but drugs are drugs. And drugs don't always have to be chemicals and powders and liquids and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It can be anything, man. Like food, gambling, fucking
alcohol,
sex. Well, alcohol's a liquid, isn't it? But you know what I'm saying. Like the obvious ones are drugs and alcohol, but there are a lot of things that are addictive. But the point I'm making is that over the last 12 months, I've kind of been on this journey of, again, without wanting to sound too fucking Silicon Valley hippie, but I've gone in this sort of journey of self-discovery. But at the same time, I've not had the you mentioned earlier that life gets in the way. I think what would have been ideal would have been a year ago to go, right, I'm going to stop drinking, I'm going to stop taking drugs, I'm going to remove myself for 12 months, I'm going to get myself into a great space. I've not been afforded that because life carries on. My kids still need feeding, my kids still need sending to fucking expensive nurseries, my bills still need paying. So I've got a thriving business that I built from nothing, literally from a phone. And what I've had to do is go through that journey of fucking self-discovery and becoming a better human being while still living my life and doing my thing. Do you know what I mean? And it does make me a little bit, I'm quite frank, I'm quite to the point. I don't believe in fucking dressing shit up, yeah? All right, there's tact and decorum, and sometimes you know, do I look nice in this dress? Yeah, it's quite nice, but I thought I liked the other one a little bit, as opposed to, no, you look like fucking shit. Obviously, you have to have a bit of like that, but I also think that sometimes...
That comes with age.
Yeah, but I also think sometimes we can go too far the other way. One of the things I learned in therapy is that people-pleasing is a toxic trait. And I think what I've done over many years, I am... It's almost a fucking, again, a yin and yang and a juxtaposition. I people-please, and then I think to overcompensate for people-pleasing, I then can be quite harsh and direct. And it's what I've been kind of learning is what is the right time to do that.
I'll do the same.
Sometimes you've got to be harsh and to the point, and other times you do have to kind of fluff it up. And it's, like I say, listen, I'd never sit here and think I'm right.
But I think we've got a big problem where we're always we put other people first.
Yeah, but we do. But then what we do is we then go,
and then when it burns us in the arse,
we then become super selfish.
Yes,
and I think it's finding that balance.
I think a lot of artistic people have that trait.
I think that's a good question. Actually, we're going to reset the clock, and I'll answer that question because that's a good question to answer because I've got something to add to that. That goes on from what I was just saying about self-discovery. Yes, I do. I think that being artistic, and there is actually kind of some science behind this. So I've had a diagnosis, neurodiversity diagnosis. So my brain effectively is wired up different to other people. All of our brains are wired up, but my brain is wired up in a particular way. And through this process, what I have actually discovered and understood is, artistic people's brains are not the same as, we're all different, but we all kind of fit in different sort of boxes. And creatives. Yeah. And I think that can sometimes be the thing that fucks people up is that, like, listen, if practical people could be artists, all of those practical skills that you put into effect would make you become a great artist. And actually, again, you have a magical way of doing this, Sonny Black. You almost answer the questions. You answer your own questions. I think that is the thing, is that the people who are successful are the ones who are, and it's not them themselves specifically, the creative person that is successful is the one that can take that creativity and put it to practical effect.
Yes.
Now, and that goes back to the very heart of what I said at the beginning. It's one thing to be able to lay a patio, but it's another thing entirely to be able to sell the services of laying a patio to good effect that people will pay you. And it's the same principle. And those that are successful are the ones with the best managers, the best accountants, the best lawyers.
On the head. I was just about to say, it all comes down to having a good team.
A good team, but a practical team. Because there's no point having one creative and then 4 other creatives to try and make that creative person practical.
Yeah.
You need practical people to make creativity
100%.
become commerce, because that's what it comes down to.
I hate them people that have to have a meeting to arrange another meeting. It does my nutting.
Because you're artistic. But let me tell you something.
When I turn up to a studio, I'm coming to record, lace.
But
I'm ready.
But
and then when we end up
playing devil's advocate, the practical person, the reason that the practical person has a meeting for a meeting is because they know that they have to get the things in the first meeting buttoned off. Yeah, out of that first meeting will come actions, and then you will need to review those actions before that thing can happen. So that's where not with some people, bro. No, but that's where creatives and practicals clash, and this is the point I'm making. If you can be over practical and you can be over creative, and the most successful people in those spaces are the ones that are able to combine the two. It's all well and good having a lovely shiny studio, but if you don't have a set up diary and set rates, and you charge people who want to cancel at the last minute, you're not going to have a fucking good studio for very long. You see what I'm saying? You combine practicality and artistic.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah,
so I've got a question for you actually, and this is my spanner in the fucking works. I've been waiting for this moment. So I see Drop Zone 2's been announced.
So Drop Zone 2 is all arranged by Leon.
Okay, yeah.
I was added to the group chat yesterday.
Oh, right, okay.
As well, So I've been added to the group chat. Thank you very much, lads. I haven't put a message up in there yet. I will do, but Drop Zone 2 has been arranged by Leon, and I completely forgot to tell you, Leon. Look at him,
shirking the responsibility.
I forgot to tell you, Big Tizz.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw another spanner in the works.
We're supposed to be on the next one, but guess what? It's not too late, bruv.
No, I'm going to throw. What's the date? The date's 2nd of August, isn't it?
I'm busy. I've got a gig.
Well, that's what I was going to lead on quite.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't even remember
what date it is.
No, I've got it here. Give me 2 seconds.
All my dates are in my diary. This is not in my diary, so it was brought to my attention yesterday.
I was just going to have a look at. Let me look at my dates, bro. Give me 2 seconds.
2nd of August. See, you know more than me.
Yeah, 2nd of August. Yeah, you can't afford me, bro. Sorry. Like real talk, you can't, like respectfully, unless you're paying, you can't afford me. I mean that respectfully. I really do.
It's a Friday.
Yeah, it's a Friday. Probably priced you out the market. Do it on a Thursday. I'll do a reduced rate, innit? If you move the date.
I'll move it to a Sunday.
Yeah.
Anyway, more importantly, somewhere where you are going to be DJing is, I believe we've got a party coming soon.
Yeah. I was chatting to Jay about this actually. Yeah, so we're going to do a little, we're going to do a party, private. So yeah, if you get invited.
Can you tell the audience why we're doing the party?
So we mentioned it at the start. We hit 1,000 subscribers, which is incredible, man. Like we don't have huge financial backing. We're not trying to cheat the system. So to get to 1,000 like subscribers effectively organically off the back of, or albeit a pretty well-known established artist within the scene is incredible. But the growth has just been like, mate, levels I couldn't tell you. So what I said was when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'd have a little party. So we're going to do it as it's not going to be an invite. It's not an open door. It's not we're going to hire a traditional way, hire a venue and yada yada and all that nonsense. Because frankly, I don't have the time. And respectfully, those 1,000 odd subscribers on YouTube are not going to physically come to us. I promise you that ain't going to happen. You better not anyway, because I don't know half you weirdos. I'm joking.
We ain't got enough room.
I'm joking. So what we are going to do, we're going to do a real sort of like, you sort of mentioned drop zone and boiler room type thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little like invite only, showcasing the Sound Temple.
DJ Tizz, the Sound Temple.
He's ready, look. Like Joe Budden, ready with his sound.
Yeah, man. And we're going to invite a few people along, and we're going to put it on YouTube. It will be streamed live on YouTube. You're going to get to see me kind of do what I do. The drop zone thing, I'm only joking, bruv. Listen, I'm all for anything that.
My bad, because I told you, bruv.
Don't worry, but look, anything that.
I am the worst. If anyone needs me to do anything, you have to remind me the day before.
And guys, this is with who you want to hold your faith of helping your music career pop. Yeah, this is who, right?
No, but at least I can tell you what to do. Innit? I might not turn up on the day or remember, but we can help you or put you through to the right people. Definitely,
that's true. He can.
One thing we can do is put you through to the right people.
Definitely. But listen, bro. Honestly, look, anything that showcases DJing is great. One thing I will say, and I'm just going to say this like absolutely fucking out there. I'm DJing at Culture Festival, as you know. I'm actually opening Culture Festival, which is going to be a bit weird because there's not going to be many people there. But also, when you open, especially with a lineup like that, there's certain places I'm obviously not going to be playing their hits and stuff as well. So it's going to be a nice little warm up for the first hour. Introduce me as a host. Introduce
Bedford's very own.
Yeah, introduce OJ as a host. But again, bringing it back to what I was saying, and I don't mean this in a salty way. It just is what it is. Yeah, you could put me up against anybody you want to put on your drop zone, like clash.
Oh, wait, is that still recording?
It's fine. That one's still. And the camera's on me. You could put me up against anybody on there, yeah? Tune for tune, set for set. And look, I ain't going to fucking go, I don't know, who knows? But I'm good enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with anybody, mate. You don't do this for fucking...
Is mine back on now?
You don't do this for 6 years. And bear in mind, I started from nothing. Just while we're doing this really quickly, I started this with a phone, an aux lead, and a mixer in a pub. And 7 years later, we just went limited company. And we are doing, as a business, we're doing upwards of 200 parties a year. We hire out DJs, we hire out equipment. We do festivals. I've DJed for an X Factor winner. I've DJed with an X Factor winner. I've done £1 million houses, £5 million houses. I've done the Royal British Legion in some place in Hampshire. There is not a place I haven't touched. And I kind of learnt this. I never really got taught. I remember, I'll never forget, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I remember he saw me at a gig one. He was like, bruv, you can't even fucking DJ. I was like, I know.
No, I didn't say that.
My mixing's terrible. No, be real, bro. My mixing was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, I said, I think you need to get some lessons on mixing.
My mixing was terrible, wasn't it? It was really bad. And
that was a word of advice there, and he did it. And I once had to tell a singer to go and get lessons.
And at that point, to be fair, but at that point, when you told me that, I was like 2.5, 3 years in to making good money from DJing. But again, it was about being willing to evolve. I could have stood there at that point and
gone, you learnt your craft.
Yeah, I could have stood there and gone, well, fuck you, I make £3,000 a month from DJing. You don't just tell me shit. But I didn't. I went away and I did something, and again, not getting into specific numbers, but I went from making £3,000 a month from DJing to £5,000 a month from DJing. Do you know what I mean? So like, and if I'd have stayed where I was, I probably wouldn't have been making £3,000. I would have gone backwards because complacency will make you go backwards. And it's always that thing of wanting to strive and get better. So listen, bruv, I will duppy anybody. Yeah. So any of you Bedford DJs out there, Vibe and Essentials, Sam Covey,
he's calling you lot
Ace,
out. Not just a little rap beef thing.
Any of you that want to jump on the ones and twos, yeah, we can go hour each, half hour each. 15 minutes each.
Put your shades on there. Put your shades on there right now. Put them there.
And we can finish the final round.
You having that?
Dub for dub,
I'm
yeah?
not having that for you.
I'll duppy any one of you on any stage, in any venue. It don't matter. It don't matter, bruv. We're still picking all this up. Don't worry. We
need the close-ups, bruv. We need the close-ups.
Well, we ain't got them, so move on. Yeah, you heard what I said. I don't wipe up my glass on.
Is it got you not got one charge quickly?
Nah, he hasn't. He just told you that.
Can we charge one for 15 minutes quickly?
He just told you that. Come on, bro.
Let's charge one 15 minutes, bro. We're fucking paying for this shit to get done properly. Let's do it properly.
All right.
Innit?
All right. Cut that bit out, innit? No, don't.
Fucking hell. No, fucking keep that as well.
Yeah, but seriously.
Let's charge up them blood clot batteries. Let's do this. We were talking about Drop Zone, and I have to apologise to you. Fine. I hope you got that on his face. I hope you got that. It's fine, like a little kid. Right. Where we got to was the battery run out, and this guy's got a few things to say. Come on, where were we?
Oh no, I've said it all. I think.
Oh yeah, we said it all. That camera's still on.
Yeah.
Right. So you lot, remember, this guy wants to battle you lot. So let's have it.
I'll clash anybody, mate. I'll clash anyone. I'm not saying I'll beat
He's
anyone,
up for it.
but I will clash anybody. You bring your shit.
clashing's different.
You bring your shit.
You've got to be confident to beat them.
Of course I'm confident to beat them. I'm just saying I'm not going to stand there and go, I'll definitely beat you. What I'm saying is I'll let my DJ and do the talking. What I'm saying is, bring your shit. You set up, I'll set up, right? We'll agree whether we go 15-15 or 30-30, but eventually we're going to come down to tune for tune.
No, we'll do straight 20-minute, half-hour set. Bang.
Fine. I'll duppy you. I don't
20-minute, half-hour set, and it'd be a crowd reaction to see who makes the crowd go mad.
I'll duppy anybody, bruv. Anybody. Because I'll go to places, I'll go places you're not ready to go. And the thing with me, I was telling Jay this before we started, I did a party on Friday night, and I think we touched like eight, 9 genres, bro. Yeah, we go.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I say? No, yes, it's what you're supposed to do. But too many people put themselves in a box. Like if you're a house DJ,
no, but then it can backfire because you're a house, you're a garage DJ, or and then you put on deep house, and some people are just like, well, it's not our music. Or you put on garage,
right? Yeah,
and then you switch it to
but that's why.
Bashment.
But when you're open format, you know how to do that.
Yeah,
so I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. I was playing. I think it might have been a wedding, right? I was playing a wedding, and I had this situation where it was like we'd been playing that kind of middle of the road commercial, kind of like 90s house sort of thing that gets people going. But she was like, "Oh, do you think you could kind of go into 80s?" And I was like, "You can't really." Now let's just like turning one off.
It's the worst, isn't it? When someone wants a request, and it's completely different.
You then kind of have to weave it, but then you look at. I'm not going to name the tracks because I don't want to give away secrets. But basically, it was a quintessential 80s banger, right? The first opening bars that you hear, you instantly know it, right?
I'm everyone.
You're not far off. You are not far off. So I thought, all right, how am I going to do this? Because I want to keep this woman happy, but I'm on a roll here. This dance floor is packed. Now I use stems, and stems are a godsend. But even just because you can use stems, you've still got to know what to do. You've still got to understand about keys. You've still got to understand certain things, yeah?
Yeah.
And when I dropped the vocals of this 80s banger over some fucking like 90s dance, right? This woman's jaw hit the floor. That's where I get my buzz from. That like
that's one thing I got to rate you for, because when I said to you, bruv, you need to go and do your homework. Not only did you learn how to mix, I haven't still heard him yet, so I can't vouch for it. I've heard the mixes you sent me, but they could be AI. No, I'm joking. But but you've taken it one step further. You're doing what the DJs are doing now, using. I've been screaming to DJs, use stems.
Use stems.
Up to date.
STEM technology is incredible.
It is crazy what you can do.
But it's like anything. It's like anything. It's one thing having the ability to take each stem out, right? That's fine. It's a twist of a knob. So we know that technology. I didn't invent the technology. I didn't even install the technology. It's fucking just there. But where that skill level does come in, and this is where you need to know music. So if you see something, you go, right, that's 123, that's 127 BPM. All right, cool. I can beat match them nicely without too much of a thing. But it's understanding that might be in a certain key. And even though I've taken out the drums,
now you go technical.
I've taken out the drums, harmony, and bass of a particular track and just left the vocals. But if them vocals are in a key that doesn't really match the song I'm trying to match it with, I still have to fuck around and manipulate it, and I still have to understand that certain things you just cannot get away with. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
that's like DJ talk for anybody.
It is DJ talk, and so it's like anything. But what all you're ultimately trying to do is, when I'm playing, I'm not standing on the mic going, right, so what I'm doing now is I'm taking out the 50% of the bass on that song and I'm pitching it up to 120. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing that and I'm using. Going back to what I was saying at the start, I'm using the tools in front of me to control your emotions. Yeah, that's what music is there to do.
That's what music is there to do. Talk about using emotions and being a DJ. I see something on TikTok, Instagram yesterday, of a young lady doing a DJ set, and the caption was, "Took my mum to my first DJ set," and her mum was skanking out like she was in a 90s rave with everyone's wearing nice dresses, a machine. Bruv, she was the mum was skanking out and the daughter's just going in. One thing I want to say, do you think this generation is lucky? Because when I was younger, if I wanted to tell my parents I wanted to pursue a music career, there was no way. You want to be what? You want to play drums? You what? Go and work.
I still think that exists. I think it's very individualised. I do think that definitely does still exist. But I think what you're seeing in this generation is you're seeing a rejection of this generation of the typical 9-to-5 ethos that we were brought up on.
Yes.
So our parents, it was go to work 9 to 5, you have your weekends off, blah, 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 right? Or work shifts or whatever it might be. But I think this generation are rejecting that concept because they've seen us go through it and what the fuck have we really got to show for it? So they're going, nah, actually, I'm going to carve my own lane. And that's why you will find, and plus they don't have that thing where they've been jaded cynically by the last 20 years. So what they do is they go, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm going to pursue whether you like it or not. And then I think alongside that, you've got a platform where you can just get shit out there. So you combine them two things of saying like, I'm doing what I want to do and I have the tools to do it. I don't give a fuck what my parents say. Some parents are supportive, some parents aren't. That's why it's individualised. For every girl that's got...
but aren't you lucky?
Yeah, I think they are lucky.
Do you think there's a change in mindset as well? Because
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It is, but I also think it's a gift and a curse because, again, like anything, if everybody can do it, so if the barrier to entry is lower, you're going to get more people that are going to go over that barrier and try and do it. So therefore, you have a compromise on quality. So I think it's a niche balancing act, but I do. I think we live in a world now where if you want to express yourself creatively in any fucking way, shape, or form, do what you like, and I think that can only be a good thing, definitely.
Yeah,
but unfortunately,
that's one thing. But having the support of your parents, because remember, generations have changed. No, I'm going to give you a perfect example. It was Father's Day a couple of weekends ago. Big up all the dads, the real dads that are out there, and.
Don't you dare big up the mums who don't have fathers. They have their day. I'm sorry. I'm a big one. No.
I was about to say. I was going to say big up the people whose fathers aren't here.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, one thing I get sick of hearing. I see that. I get sick of it. You have Mother's Day, right? So even if the dad's not there, I don't want to hear and happy Father's Day to all the mums doing it on their own. What are you talking about? You just had a day. You literally had a day. You didn't see me popping up going, I look after my kids and the mums are crackheads. So can I share your day as well? No. Clearly defined. Mother's Day, Father's Day. So yeah, big up. All right.
I have seen them post as well, but I was going to give you a perfect example. Like I took my dad out for dinner. I haven't been out with him to eat for well over 30 years.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, we don't have a relationship. We didn't have much of a relationship, whatever. But like, I went out there. I took him, and it was so weird. Like he gives me the odd phone call here and there, and I'll go and see him here and there. But it's just like the conversation. Everything's cold, and all I kept thinking was like, I never want my son to feel that type of way, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
That's why, again, generational change, like mindset change. My dad's so backward in his way of thinking, like he's still stuck there. And I'm thinking, no matter how much I can try and talk to the guy, like, what do I talk about? Like, I find it hard. So in a way, like, it's putting me in a mind, and I'm thinking, I hope my kids never feel like the way I do, man.
I want to answer that for you because you said, they're lucky to have supportive parents, and I can't speak for other people, but I can speak to it from behind me and ahead of me.
Yeah.
And in terms of having supportive parents, I didn't really have supportive parents. They could barely support themselves. Some would say I'm lucky. I would say I'm unfortunate in that I've actually got a third parent who still exists, and he actually turns 71 next week. Lives 12,000 miles away. Ain't spoke to him in fucking 6-7 years. He's a complete and utter waste of space. 5 kids, all grown up. Doesn't have anything to do really with any of his kids. He's very much in his own world and doesn't give a fuck about no one apart from himself. And it's all everybody's against him. And I did this. You didn't do fuck all. Because I can now, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, I can speak from my own place of authority. I've got 3 kids. One's my stepdaughter, but she's still my kid. But the reason I bring that up is because I don't have a choice whether I leave her or not because she's not my child. But my point is this: I could never imagine a world where I left Lily to it for 20 years. I could never imagine a world where I leave Max from now to his own devices for the next 20 years, right? Yeah. So I can't relate to him in any way on that point of view. And I'll end this by saying I don't give a fuck whether I had fucking support from my parents. But one thing I do give a fuck about, and one thing I do have control of, is that I will support my kids no matter what. So if my kids come to me and go, Dad, I want to be a DJ. Dad, I want to be a footballer. Dad, I want to fucking travel the world and whatever it might be. I don't care. My job is to support them, guide them. Yeah. And also, massive part of it is let them make their fucking mistakes. Yeah. Like fail. I teach my kids, one thing I teach my kids, I teach my kids massively above all else, fail. And not only fail, learn to love failure. And you're looking at me. You're slightly looking at me sideways.
No, because
there,
you're going to experience a lot of it, so you got to get used to it.
A loss ain't a loss; it's a lesson.
Yeah.
And every single time you lose, you learn something for when you win. And life is a series of peaks and troughs. And what you realise as you go through life is the peaks don't last forever, neither do the troughs. And most of the time, more importantly, you don't even realise you're in a peak until you're coming out of it. And you don't even realise you've been in a trough until you're coming out of it. And if you can understand that concept and understand that most of your life is going to be somewhere in that nice little middle section, and your job is to maximise that middle section. And when the highs are highs, take the wins. When the lows are lows, take the losses and move back into the fucking middle space.
Yeah, well, going back to my question, do you think this generation is lucky to have parents that are supportive?
Yeah, but I think they also have a lot of challenges as well.
Back in the day, you want to be a musician or you want to be a sports personality, it's not going to...
Yeah, but you imagine... But
But now the parents know, you could be on 80 grand a week.
Yeah, but you could be whatever. But I think it creates a false sense. Like there was a recent survey.
Everybody wants to be a superstar.
Well, that's a really good point. There was a recent survey of like 8 to 11-year-olds, right? This is scary shit. Really scary, because it means that we're going to have a real dearth of lack of skilled labour in the future, because you've got kids today who only want to be athletes, entertainers or YouTube stars.
100%.
So here's my question. Who's fixing the roads?
Yeah.
Who's the nurses?
Roads are awful.
Where are the nurses, the doctors, because but the thing is, all these professions that were once traditionally considered to be, they're above lawyers, barristers, right? Barely managing to survive. Newly qualified barristers are struggling to survive.
Well,
so why the fuck would anybody want to go and do that?
100%. And then the British moan, why is there so many foreigners in this country?
I think it just goes really deeper than that. I think what we've done is we're creating a society, and you can see it panning out in America, where the society itself, I genuinely believe, is collapsing. Like the fundamental fabric of society is collapsing, and all you're going to be left with is the following: the rich elites that don't give a fuck. Watch a film called Don't Look Up. The film's not about what it's about, but the hidden message in it is so fucking true. You're gonna have the elites and the rest of us, and then the winners in the rest of us are the ones who are able to fucking like go, okay, yeah, right, get on that wave and make stupid money being, bankers or whatever it is, and then the rest of us, the real people, the middle class, we're gone. Yeah, and it's just going to be a wasteland of that. And you wait till the metaverse becomes a thing where the majority of people's lives are going to exist within this thing that goes over their head.
Yeah.
Sorry to end this on doom and gloom.
No, it's coming.
I'll be honest with you.
Movies are made about this kind of stuff, man.
I'm going to tell you, if what I'm seeing is going to pan out as I see it, and I'm not the authority on it, but I do think that societally over the next couple of decades, we're in a very, very, very bad place.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, on that positive note, Spanner in the Works podcast, make sure you subscribe and smash that like button.
We're not going to be here to experience that, but our kids,
our kids are, man.
We'll try and make it comfortable. What we're doing for time?
I think I'm ready to wrap up and when
How long have we got there?
I'm ready.
So we've got a couple of other things quickly.
I'll keep it brief.
Just to give it just to give it a bit of concept and the thing. All right, cool. Right, yeah, talking about the YouTube stars and all that, my son took me to a football match.
Oh yeah,
Beta Squad versus AMP.
I saw that.
Full of YouTube stars, bruv. When they entered the stadium, it was like a rock stars have arrived.
They are the new rock stars.
When they entered into that football stadium, it was like pop stars are about. Yeah. Bruv, I see Philly, I see Chunks, I see Angry Ginge, I see man like Kev. I don't know who the hell he was. I see all of these people, bruv, and I swear to God, I was thinking, you don't actually have to have a skill to be famous now.
Which again is dangerous.
You don't have to have a skill to be famous.
Dangerous. Well, you look at that on a societal level. We used to be a country that was manufacturing based, so we actually made something that could then be sold, right? That's the very fundamentals of commerce. You'll see why this is relative to YouTube stars in a minute, right? But now, you look at our society, it's a service-based industry. So we don't actually make anything, we just supply a service. And that's it there. You go back, you said they're the new pop stars. Even pop stars made something tangible.
Yeah, they're supplying
they made something that was packaged and sold on. Now, no disrespect to these YouTube stars, but what are they actually doing? Then they're creating content, but that's it. And let me tell you this is the scary part of it. When you don't make a product, you are the product. Let that sink in for a minute, right?
Yeah, you are.
And what I mean by that is what you've got now is you've got a situation where the people who are monetized are then they're not, they're nothing. What they do is great, but they don't really provide anything. They don't make songs. They don't make something you can sit down and consume. They just ironically, while we're sitting here making mind-numbing content, but they just make content and that's it. And the monetization and the value in that comes from the number of eyes on it. And those people, your kids, my kids, are nothing more than some data.
Yep, that's exactly what.
And that's what I mean by society. I think we're in a very bad place, bro. I really do. And I know that's probably not the thing that you should be saying on a positive podcast, but the fact of the matter is, I think we're fucked, man.
Positive, negative, spanner in the works. Couple of other things. Did you also see on Instagram? There's a big influx of grime in India.
Yeah, I saw that.
MCs, bruv.
They're killing it, bruv.
Yeah, they're making me laugh, bruv. It's mad because I didn't understand, even though I'm Indian.
You didn't understand it?
They're speaking in a different language.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, I think it was Gujarati, maybe.
Was it?
Yeah,
I used to live in I said I lived in different towns and cities. I lived in Dewsbury, right, which has the highest concentration of Indian Muslims from Gujarati in the United Kingdom. There you go.
Did you see that, though? The grime set?
Yeah, bruv, it's mad. It was mad. But you know what? Interesting on India, you got to think about this from an Indian point of view, just the sheer population, yeah? You want to talk about markets and the ability to monetize. They have in their backyard at the last count 1.3 billion people. So that means that any market that pops off within India, it's there.
Spanner in the Works podcast in India. We're going to have to hit him up. One more thing, Margs. I don't know if you know him.
I know Margs.
He's on YouTube.
I did his pen game challenge a couple of years ago. A few years back.
Where?
I did pen game challenge. Yeah, you know when he was getting everyone to submit pen game challenges. Yeah, about 5-6 years ago. Yeah, I did one.
So I've been watching him recently.
I still remember but I still think it might still be on YouTube.
I've been watching him recently, bruv. Oh my God. Some of it is hilarious. That like you got people that do absolute no research, just go in there and freestyle cat with Rat and Hat and Matt. And then you got people, but mainly it's drill. It's all drill instrumentals mainly. You got a couple of guys that are gimmicky. You got this one guy, I can't remember their names, man. He's a gimmick and he starts doing things. They pull out t-shirts to talk about your mum. One guy put a picture up of next man's mum on the big screen. Some like big lady called Sue or something, and then
shout out Sue, man. Like if she's been getting a hard time, big up to you, Sue.
One man put up the man's front door, picture of his whole yard. So there you go. If anyone wants to know his address, that's his address. They talk about mums and all that. What I was going to say was, do you think you could do a rap battle in this day and age?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
I'll be thinking about it.
No.
Because some of it's mad. I'll be thinking.
It is mad, but no.
I'll be thinking about it.
I don't think. Could I come up with? Nah, I couldn't do it, bro. It's just not for me. I get the entertainment value of it, but I think for me it kind of waters it down a little bit. It starts to become YouTube entertainment fodder rather than what it really. And I don't want to sound like an old man, but what really is at the heart of it, that is a skilled thing. Battle rapping. I saw something. Someone said that they don't consider battle rap hip hop either, like it's its own sort of thing. Yeah. Just a quick question for you. I got a few questions to you just before we wrap up. They're really quick 1-word answer questions. So I want to know, and then I'll tell you mine. So I want to know who your GOAT rapper is. US, UK, and Bedford. Go.
Tupac.
All right.
UK.
Yeah. I knew this would be the one that stumped you.
Kano.
Oh, you're going Kano, number one. All right.
Because I like Kano.
Yeah. And
you might ask me tomorrow, it might be somebody different because I might remember. Right now, if you ask me just top of my head, it might be Kalashnikov tomorrow. It might be Skinny Man. I don't know. But right now, I like Kano.
I would probably agree with Kano.
Always loved Kano. And what was the last one? Bedford.
Yeah.
Dots.
All right. Okay. You don't need to ask me because we know the list. But my US is after this week. Unequivocally, you're going to be like...
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar.
Talking about that, how do you think that went?
Kendrick Lamar's the greatest rapper of all time. There you go. And that's all I need to say.
He's just shot the video.
Shot the video. I dropped that on Friday night, mate. The fucking place went off, bruv. Yeah.
Did they all know the words?
Every fucking word to it, bruv. I was like, what the fuck? Like, pub full of white boys, yeah? Pick up my white boys.
Yeah, they
pub
know, bruv.
Full of these young white boys,
Drake
right?
versus Kendrick.
Bruv.
But this is another thing.
I dropped the... and then I cut it out, right? And the whole fucking place went, mustn't on a beat, ho. And I was like, what the fuck just happened in here, man? This is some little pub in Surrey, bruv. Are you fucking crazy? Yeah, Kendrick Lamar's the greatest rapper of all time, in my opinion. UK is a really interesting one. I do flip with that. I was almost going to go in and agree with you on Kano. Funny enough, I was listening to his 2018 album, Made in a Man. I was listening to that yesterday when I was working.
Who's your UK one then?
You're not going to like it. Stormzy.
Okay.
And
really?
Yeah, Stormzy. Yeah. I know. I'll flip tomorrow. It was going to be Stormzy or Dave, but I'm going to go with Stormzy.
I'll see something.
One more, my Bedford one. Has to be a rapper.
No.
It's
Bedford.
That's called nepotism, Jay, man. I can't just like... You can't see it off camera. I ain't going to blow him up, but nah. I rate him, man. I rate him. But if
he's good,
by
man.
my own metrics of all the things I've always said about it, I don't think you can really look beyond Dots, but I think it's a very shallow pool to pull from.
Just quickly, Funk Flex said, I have a Drake Kendrick question. Was it a lyrical competition or a marketing career relaunch? I need to understand what are the rules in a lyrical battle.
Oh, that's an interesting. I think in terms of rap battles, especially when you look back at the history of rap battles from fucking NWA and Ice Cube, Jay-Z and Nas, like all of the smaller ones in between, Eminem, MGK, Drake and Meek Mill,
Tupac Biggie.
Although that's a slightly different one because that was real life shit.
That was real.
People died, yeah. But I think when you look at it, it very much becomes like who has the baddest record, which record was going against who. But I just think, all things considered, he systematically took that man apart, both lyrically, he destroyed his career, he broke down the man's career, and then he ended the battle with the type of record and the type of streaming numbers that Drake's built an entire career on. And he basically called him a paedophile. And he basically had the whole of, and not only that, he brought all of LA together under, you know what LA's like, together, the unity levels, bro. It was just, he ticked every box of iconic moment, yeah? Dr. Dre comes out and says, I see dead people. Yeah. And the whole thing blew my mind, but not just the concert in isolation. You look at him as an artist from day one to now, I don't think you can top it. I just don't think you can. You can not like the voice or whatever, but I think by any metric, Kendrick Lamar's the greatest rapper of all time.
Sick. On that note, Spanner in the Works podcast. I've been Sonny Black.
I've been Tizz.
Yeah, he's Tizz, not Sonny Black.
No, I'm not Sonny Black. Don't forget, smash the like button, smash the subscribe, send it to all of your friends.
Subscribe.
Hit us up. Look out for the next episode, which after this, I think this has been episode 2, so I'll let you win that one.
Yeah, this has been a mad one because we said we have to do something in between. We don't want to take so long until the next podcast. So, man, like I said, life gets in the way. Tizz had stuff to do. I had stuff to do, but we had to make sure that our engineer was free, first and foremost. Big up Ravi and Limelight TV and all the crew, make sure they were available. And we had to get something in between. And we've got so much to talk about. We could be here for ages, but we've got to go. I've got to go and do a barbecue. He's got to go. Are you going to go finish the patio? Or
no, patio's finished, man. I don't know what I've got to do. My missus keeps ringing me, so...
Like, he's got to go and see what his missus is saying.
Big shout to the family as well. I probably don't big up the family enough.
Our engineer's got the work to do. Yeah, man. Always big up all the families, man. Every time. This was what we were about. We would do it for them. My kids love it, bruv. Dad's got his own podcast.
It's quite good, isn't it? We're YouTubers after all that. Right, listen, on that note, we are out of here. Peace out to everybody. See you later.
In the works. Back to the works. Them man are like you're too much on the track. Them flows are bloody berserk. Spanner in the works. Go hard till it hurts. How many man do you know who can drop 1 million flows on a verse? Them man I wanna be never gonna be spitting the way I spit diverse. Doing it differently with the maddest ability, and I still got a thirst.
The hunger to go hard, man, I go hard with the bars this year, man, I'm taking the perks. They go left, we go right. Spanner in the works.